hearing at 6:16.
So before we invite people to speak on it, I just want to speak about what the PID is. So a PID is a public improvement district. It acts very much like a property tax. It is assessed only on the people who live within the boundary of the PID. So for this would be the folks who buy houses or, well, it's a residential development, who buy houses within the Flat Creek development. The PID was something that was agreed to within the development agreement. The development agreement, which was voluntarily entered into by the developer, required his annexation, which we just finished. As y'all recall, we went through first annexing a portion of their land into our UTJ, then a whole process to annex the entire portion that was within our UTJ into our city limits. So that is just concluded, and the next item that will come up is this PID, is approval of PID. So we've had a couple different public hearings on it. There is no action tonight on the PID. I want to speak to the amount and what it's for. This is a PID improvement amount of $25 million, and it goes towards general nature of proposed public improvements, landscaping, erection of distinctive lighting and signs, acquiring, constructing, improving, widening, narrowing, closing, or rerouting of sidewalks or of streets, any other roadways or their rights of way, including related to landscaping, lighting, traffic control devices, screening walls or retaining walls, construction or improvement of water, wastewater, drainage facilities or improvements, establishment or improvement of parks. So there's a number of items. All of them are public in nature that are regulated by the state as far as allowable uses for the funds. But that's essentially what this allows. This would allow is a creation of a PID, which is an assessment on those property owners. I think there's been some misunderstanding among our residents and others that somehow they thought that PIDs were paid for by by existing taxpayers, and they are not.
Yeah. The questions that I got on that were, can that assessment, well, the first one was that assessment put on the rest of the city? And our policy has always been that new pays for new. This is a way for them basically to charge the people. The developers develop the horizontal, the facilities, the streets, all of that, and then they sell it off to the constructors, the home builders and whatnot. It allows them to recoup the money from the development that they're building for themselves. And it is specifically for the improvement for the water, the wastewater. But you missed your dedicated seat up here.
That's all I have. I'll bring up a map if you want to open it up for public comment.
All right, I'll open it up to public comment.
My name is Bruce Alexander. I'm here to speak on the public hearing for the request for the PID. I do understand enough about a PID, just for you know, that my daughter lives in a PID in Galveston County, and she's assessed $2,000 a year on top of her taxes for 20 years. That goes back in the hands of the developer or whoever that paid for the improvements. So it's another way for a developer to get a retirement plan and get reimbursed for things that they should already do. That's my opinion. That's my opinion of a PID, a TERS, a TUD, whatever the heck they are. It's a way for a developer to get his money back on top of the money he's already made from selling the property. So it's and in exchange, the city might get extra things, but some of those things are already required by ordinances. My question on this particular one has to do with, you annexed it. I've seen where you have a development agreement. Of course, nobody knows what it is because it was secretive, I guess. But there's no PUD, so there's no planned unit development. And what's online for Flat Creek properties violates the city ordinances. They have 148 lots at 6,200 square feet, 295 lots at 7,800 square feet, 226 lots at 10,005. They're selling lots. There's no planning that I'm aware of. There's no development out there, but yet they're marketing the lots in violation of our own ordinances, and even in your subdivision ordinance says 12,000 square foot lots. So whoever made this development